Because if you missed the news yesterday, the Phillies signed their first free agent outside of Kyle Schwarber, Adolis Garcia, right fielder, to a 1-year, $10 million deal. We talked about it a lot yesterday, Ricky, and we were saying, all right, well, we kind of have to see how everything else pans out. What's the plan going to be in the outfield? Ricky even floated the name Cody Bellinger. We were thinking, all right, maybe they'll get creative. Well, don't get too excited, because Dave Dombrowski met with the media today, and it sounds like the outfield may be set already. Listen to this from Dave Dombrowski.
Basically, I think with the signing here, we look at him as being our right fielder. And then we're in a position where they're pretty well set out there, because with Justin Crawford being able to play center or left, Brandon Marsh the other, mixed in with a little bit of, Otto Kemp out there, Rojas as a backup in center field too, that, and then Rincona's coming, that we feel very good. I think that a lot of people look at it, they're unsure, but if you're going to give Crawford an opportunity, you've got to give it to him.
Okay. A lot to break down in there. So, Ricky, I'm completely okay with the idea of giving Justin Crawford an opportunity to have one of the starting spots in the outfield. I get that. But if you don't make any other moves, like he's basically saying, the outfield will be Garcia, Crawford, Marsh/Kemp. Does that sound like a World Series champion outfield? Is that good enough to beat the damn Dodgers?
No. I'm giving you that
Simply
opinion.
put.
I'm giving you that opinion. I'm looking at a lineup right now that looks extremely familiar up at the top. Turner, Schwarber, Harper. Agree?
Yes.
Then you're looking at Garcia as a cleanup hitter, maybe Bohm. So those two interchangeable at 4-5. Right now, listen to this 6, 7, 8, 9. Marsh, JT, Stott, and Crawford. I don't like the lineup. I'm not going to sit here and try to John Kincaid, I don't like it.
And he threw Otto Kemp's name in there.
He has been selling us on Otto Kemp since the end of the season.
And Rincones.
And Rincones. He's an interesting one. They keep bringing him up.
They bring him up all the time. I think they were close to actually bringing him up last year before they would have brought up Crawford.
I know that Otto Kemp had the kneecap issue, but, I mean, at his best, he's probably a bottom-of-the-roster guy, borderline major league player, if we're being honest. And if you're including him in that equation, I mean, that has to take a lot of air out of the fan base, I would imagine.
I just don't like how this is setting up. You know what? I came in, and the first thing Colin Newby, our guy, tells us, blah, blah, blah was said, and you said it out loud, and I went, no, that's it. They're done with the outfield. They're not doing anything with the outfield. Interesting that they want a guy in Brandon Marsh as your starting either left fielder or center fielder, but they won't let him hit against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, Marsh, they have shown they're never going to trust him against left-handed
So
pitching.
that means you're going to have a platoon in either center or
left. Because last year, Marsh was one of your best hitters after he came back from the rehab assignment, and they still didn't trust him against lefties. So if you weren't going to trust Marsh last year, you're never going to trust him against lefties. So you're right.
And I got to ask you a weird question. Guys get injured a lot, right? All the time. What happens if Turner, Schwarber, or Harper were to get injured for a month of the season? What would happen?
Well,
it's
still early in the offseason.
No. I'm just saying, what would your lineup look like?
No, you're in trouble, man. You're in trouble.
Yeah,
now,
it's not going to be
now
good.
Booney, who's producing for NBC, is he saying that this is Dombrowski posturing?
He very well may be, because we know that he's still trying to trade Castellanos. So what if he gets an outfielder back for him?
Doubt it.
He might. You know what he's getting? He's getting a whole roll of toilet paper.
Yeah, he's not getting anything about. Yeah, he's not getting anything about.
The other guy we've been hearing a lot about is Alec Bohm. What if there is an outfielder involved in that trade? He's not going to take him?
At this point, if you were to trade Alec Bohm for an outfielder, then that would mean Otto Kemp is your starting third baseman, or Edmundo Sosa. But if you're not going to trust Stott against lefties, then Sosa's still platooning with Stott at second.
Right.
So you're going Otto Kemp, and then hopefully Aiden Miller halfway through the season's ready to come up?
That doesn't sound great.
Well, you're going to have Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford.
But they're going to be in trouble anyways, because they're going to end up losing Bohm. You think next year they're going to pay Bohm to a huge contract?
No, and I don't want them to.
I think that would be a mistake too, but you're just going to lose him. So why wouldn't you do something here?
This is just...
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know. Here's the problem. I don't know the direction they're in. What direction are they trying to go in? Was this hey, let's appease the fan base and bring back Schwarber and JT and everybody will be happy? Or
I don't know if that's making everybody happy.
Or is that literally going to piss off the fan base when you think about it?
Well, because here's the problem. Look, we both agreed you had to bring back Schwarber. I don't love 5 years, but you had to bring him back. JT is another guy that I think they have to bring back. But as we look at this outfield that struggled last season, was in the bottom of the MLB in terms of slug and all that for a very long time. You make the Garcia signing. I like the Garcia signing. I like the upside, but there's also a realistic possibility that Garcia stinks. Like, there's a chance that he has lost it.
Watch this. At this point, you are running it back. Wait, just listen to me. You are running it back and inserting Garcia instead of Castellanos. And inserting Crawford, who you don't know what the hell he's going to be.
You don't. And again, I've talked about this with Crawford. Everybody knows the name. But if you're not familiar with his game, he is a guy who hits a ton of ground balls.
Yes.
And we don't know how that translates to the MLB level.
A lot of scouts are saying, you know what, maybe a lot of the big league players probably make a bunch of these plays. That's where the problem comes in.
And then I was talking to Colin Newby, who writes for our website. Check it out at 975thefanatic.com, talking about Crawford as an outfielder. And he was showing me a clip of certain people saying that some of the fielding analytics have Crawford in the bottom 3%. Now, the scouts are not saying that.
So we traded off Casty for Crawford?
Yeah. The scouts are saying that he's a lot better of a fielder than the analytics are suggesting, but the analytics would have him in the bottom 3%.
Did you ever notice something? When analytics says something good, they'll all say, yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. When the analytics says something bad, they'll have some garbage answer like, it's not what the scouts think.
Yeah.
You know what? They're all full of it.
Well, it's like that in any sport, Andrew, right? When the analytics support your argument, it's great, but when it doesn't, you can have an excuse as to why.
Yeah, it's like Vic Fangio last summer. He was like, yeah, analytics are fine. I take what I need, and then the rest of it,
all comes from up top.
But isn't that the whole point? The analytics are supposed to guide a lot of teams right now, but then when they find something wrong with it, they'll go to the people that they pushed out, the scouts, and say, well, the scouts think it's going to be different.
Yeah.
So it's almost like these like numbers people. What do they call them? The propeller heads.
That's what you call them.
Yeah, that's what you call them.
Yeah, he's like, what do they call them? No, that's what you call them.
I do call them that. The propeller heads. The nerds? Is that better?
The numbers guys.
The number crunchers.
There you go.
The propeller heads are better. Those guys, they always look to blame somebody else.
Yeah.
Think about how many times they're wrong.
Now, I'm surprised and listened to that Dombrowski clip earlier, though, that you didn't pick up on something else in there and get angry.
They had a good club.
What he said about Johan Rojas.
Oh, I was pissed. I wrote it down.
Yeah, Ross, because here's the deal. If Crawford is unable to play center at the Major League Baseball level at Citizens Bank Park.
Don't worry about it. We got Johan Rojas.
Yeah, because if you move Crawford to left, Otto Kemp can't play center. So you're not platooning Marsh and Kemp in center. You're platooning Marsh and Rojas in center, which means Johan Rojas is a part of this team next year, and he's going to play a lot as a center fielder.
I don't know how you could sell that to a fan base.
Yeah, you'd have an outfield against left-handed pitching. Crawford, Rojas, Garcia. That's potentially
I know
outfield.
how they're going to sell it. They're going to say, look what he did in the Caribbean League. Yeah, don't care.
Where is the intrigue? Where is the intrigue? This is a cost-effective approach to the offseason thus far.
That's exactly what's happening.
All right, so here's what I want to do.
Andrew.
Yeah, cost-effective. Here's what I want to do. I want people's opinions about this on the text board. I want to hear what Phillies fans think. If the Phillies are, in fact, done with their outfield, meaning you have Garcia, Marsh, Rojas, Crawford, and Kemp. Are you okay with that? I want to hear people's opinion on the text board. Coming up, we'll hear what Rob Thompson said today about that outfield. But I want to do an exercise with you, Ricky and Andrew. Let's go through. What could the lineup look like? 1 through 9. You started to do this. 1 through 9, who's your cleanup hitter? Who's your leadoff hitter? Who's hitting fifth? Who's hitting sixth? I want to go through the lineup if they don't make any other moves, and I want you to assume JT's back. All right, we'll do that. We'll get to more of your texts. We'll hear what Rob Thompson had to say about the Garcia signing as well. Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports.